Chapter 1 A Beautiful World. It was a chilly afternoon in late winter. Annie was doing her homework on the computer in the living room. Jack was on the couch and stared at a blank page in a small notebook. He heaved a sigh. "What's wrong?" said Annie. "I have to write a story for school," said Jack, "and I'm stuck." "Well, you better get unstuck," said Annie. "Mom and Dad said we have to have our homework done before we go to the theater with them tonight." "I know," said Jack, "but I can't think of anything to write about." "Why don't you do what you love to do?" said Annie. "Go outside and write down some facts about what you see. Then turn them into a story." "Hey, that's a good idea," said Jack. "Thanks." He jumped up, grabbed his coat from the hall closet, then, taking his pencil and notebook with him, he headed outdoors. The early March weather was sunny, but cold and windy. Jack looked around, then he wrote down some facts in his notebook. Old snow in yard, sun sparkling on sidewalk. Jack looked up again. Treetops swayed in the March winds. Jack started to write them, but when he looked down in his notebook, he nearly dropped his pencil. On the page were two large fancy letters, T.K. "Oh, man," whispered Jack. He dashed back in the house and into the living room. "Annie, look!" Jack held up his notebook. "Look at this!" And he stared at the page. Old snow, sun sparkling. Nice? "No, not that," said Jack. "The letters." And he looked at Jack like he was a little crazy. What letters?" she said. Jack looked back at the page. "They're gone," he said. A big fancy T and K." "T and K?" said Annie. "Yes, for Teddy and Kathleen," said Jack. "The letters just appeared on the page when I was outside." "They were there, really?" "I believe you," said Annie. She jumped up from the computer. "Let's go." "Wait, I have to grab my backpack from upstairs," said Jack. "Forget it. Come on. The treehouse must be waiting for us," said Annie. Okay, said Jack. He quickly shoved his notebook and pencil into a pocket of his coat. Annie grabbed her jacket. "Mom, Dad, we're going to take a little break from our homework," she called. "Okay, but make it short. We have to leave for the theater by 7, their dad called from the kitchen. "We will," said Jack. Jack and Annie headed outside. They ran over the melting snow in their front yard and up the sparkling sidewalk. They charged across the street into Frog Creek woods. They hurried between the wind-blown trees until they came to the largest oak. High in the branches was a magic treehouse. Their friends from Camelot, Teddy and Kathleen, were looking out the window. "Hello," called Kathleen. "Hi," shouted Annie, waving. "Good trick with the magic letters," Jack called. "We thought you'd like that," said Teddy. "I just learned how to do it."